For the news, we start on health this morning. And experts at the Shayo Sudoku area are worried about the increasing number of pregnant women opting to deliver their babies in prayer camps instead of getting care at good health facilities. The officials say many of these women are rushed to hospitals almost dead when the prayer camps fail them. Komladom, who visited the area, reports that authorities at the district hospital are finding innovative ways to deal with the current problem. It's another day on top of a hill of lush green vegetation, few meters away from a Shai Osudoku District Hospital. A prayer service is ongoing. That's just one of many prayer camps and religious centers which have sprung up around the hospital in the last few years. Prayer camps should not be a worry, but hospital authorities say religious leaders are encouraging pregnant women to abandon medical attention for spiritual help. Medical director at the Shai Osudoku District Hospital, Dr. Kennedy Brightson, recounts an incident a few months ago.
There was one that she had obstructed labor. She came and we told her she was going to have an elective cesarean section surgery to bring the baby out. The first thing she said was she ran the fingers over the head, over her dead body. The pastor said it. Pastor said, "Me ba, who doctor was me?" And then at 12 midnight, I get a call from the midwives that they have a serious emergency. I have to drive from Achimota. When I came, this was the same woman that I told in the morning that we needed to operate you, and she refused. Why are Ghanaian women allowing their whole body and brain to be controlled with religious semantics? It is wrong. God doesn't like it.
That is just one of many cases. Dr. Brightson is outraged people still get brainwashed against visiting the hospitals. This is a result. Many pregnant women, some in labor, showing up at the hospital at a time their condition is nearly unsalvageable.
There are other people who from their homes or from elsewhere are taken to the prayer camps first for prayers to be offered for, the casting of the demons and all kind of devilish things to come out of them before they are brought here, And by so doing, they come to us practically dead. When you come to us practically dead, it becomes very difficult to resuscitate you and bring you back to life.
I visit one of such camps on the hill not very far from the hospital. I make my way through the thick of weeds and meander through a maze of footpaths to trace the camp. It's barely complete with corrugated iron sheets used as a cordon on one side. This is Prophetess Elizabeth's Evangelical Christ Foundation prayer camp. She welcomes me with a prayer, and as I speak about a pregnant auntie who needs help because of complications during her 4-month-old pregnancy, Prophetess Elizabeth begins to look interested.
If she believes in prayers, bring her here. Bring her from the hospital and we'll embark on an intensive prayer session.
I was curious about how much she would charge, but she told me her services are free.
We do not charge clients here. Just let her come with things she will need for the next 7 days. With her faith, we'll pray and top it up with some herbal medicines.
Before I leave, she shares another prayer with me and directs my pregnant auntie to read Psalm chapter 86 before.
Now, environmentalists are criticizing government over what they say has been an ineffective implementation of its ban on illegal rosewood logging. Minister for Lands and Natural Resources, Kweku Asomachreme, on Tuesday, March 12, announced the ban, but the groups say that logging has continued. The Deputy Minister for Lands and Natural Resources, Benito Usubio, is, however, disputing the claim. Joseph Opoku Gakpo of our Environment, Agric and Technology Desk has more.
Since the ban was announced, a Chinese national, Helen Huan, has been arrested for transporting 4 containers of rosewood. She jumped bail and is still at large. The Ghana Revenue Authority in May 2019 intercepted 5 20-footer containers loaded with rosewood at Afienya. Residents of Damongo also recently raised red flags over the continuous operation of a rosewood processing firm in the area, despite the government ban. The Kalakpa Youth Club, in a media statement, claimed there has been continuous harvesting of rosewood in the Kalakpa Forest Reserve at Abutia in the Volta region despite the ban. Member of Parliament for Bosa South, Dr. Clementa Park, in a statement said the ban has not been effective enough, claiming state agencies are rather fighting over who takes custody of impounded rosewood, describing it as an embarrassment. But Benito Usubio tells JoyNews government has done well thus far enforcing the ban.
We as a ministry, we say we have banned it. So when you hear that somebody has been able to drive from the northern region to almost Tema before he's arrested, then what that should tell you is that there are others who are conniving and helping them to do it. And this is a source of concern to us. Why should the person even dream that he can take it to the port? What it means is that even at the port too, they are not helping. What sort of inspection are they doing there? To the extent that they can be able to help by arresting anybody who comes to the port and wants to export rosewood. We say there's a total ban, whether it is salvaging, whether it is felling, whether it is exporting or whatever. Everybody must cease work.
The security agencies virtually the weak chain in all of this fight, you would say?
It's not the security alone, it's all of us.
What has been done to find someone like Aisha? Is there any support the Forestry Commission and
Aisha?
The Rosewood Queen who was arrested and she jumped bail eventually.
Oh, please. Somebody has been arrested by the Forestry Commission. The person is sent to, it goes through the due process of law. It's given bail and the person jumps bail. What can we do about that?
For you,
it's someone's job. It's someone's job to make sure that where's the bail surety? Who guaranteed the bail? That person must be looked for. And I know the judiciary would insist and will work on that, including the police. That person should never be allowed to go scot-free.
Moving on, 4 years after the horrific June 3 fire and flood disasters, which claimed scores of lives and tore families apart, the National Disaster Management Organization has disbursed a $200,000 donation from the government of Benin. Checks totaling over $1 million Ghana cedis were handed over to the victims and affected families, and NADMO says they've never received compensation. Director General of NADMO, Eric Nanajman Prempe, says his outfit is grateful for the donation of the $200,000 money from the Benin government.
The government of the day, when we assumed responsibility and we took over from NADMO, there was no money in NADMO or anywhere for the disaster victims. The only money we have received is this $200,000. And immediately I received the check. Through my accountant, the money was deposited at Bank of Ghana. And we informed the Interior Ministry and the President. And the President, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, directed that the money should be shared to all of you, the disaster victims. That is why this money is being given to you.
Right now, in the Upper West region, President Akufo-Addo has bemoaned the steep decline of the country's livestock sector, which he blames on the high cost of production and competition from cheap imports of livestock and its products, forcing most local livestock producers to stop producing meat and concentrate solely on crop production. Local meat products account for about only 19% of the country's meat requirements. President Akufo-Addo says this is an indictment on the country and is optimistic that the Raring for Food and Jobs policy will stem the tide. He was speaking at the launch of the Raring for Food and Jobs program in Wa. Rafiq Salam was there for us. Here's his report.
According to President Akufo-Addo, if government is to make any meaningful development in the lives of the people, its efforts should be directed at the agriculture sector. He said majority of the people can have a feel of change in their lives when agriculture is developed. President Akufo-Addo said with the launch of the Rearing for Food and Jobs program, which has a lifespan of 5 years. It will develop a competitive and more efficient livestock industry that will increase domestic production, reduce importation of livestock products, contribute to employment creation, and improve livelihoods of livestock value chain actors.
Ghana's livestock sector has been experiencing a steep decline, largely attributed to the high cost of production and competition from cheap imports of livestock and its products. This situation has forced most livestock producers to stop producing meat and to concentrate solely on crop production. Indeed, available data by the Ghana Statistical Service indicates that an estimated 108,301 metric tons of frozen poultry meat was imported in 2010. By 2014, this had doubled to 216,372 metric tons. At the moment, Ghana imports over 300,000 metric tons of poultry meat annually.
President speaking there at the launch of the Rearing for Food and Jobs program. Now that's where the news ends, but certainly not where the show ends. We're bringing you even more. Mamabi joins us for the newspaper review, and then we've got AM Talk, where we'll be joined by Nilante van der Poy. And of course, later we talk AFCON. Ghana's first match is coming up later in the day. We'll bring you all the analysis, all the conversations, and see whether or not your love for football is alive.